Okay, here we are. Welcome to How to Successfully Lead an International Retreat. I am so happy, I am so thrilled to be with you here today. In this webinar, I will reveal the secrets to achieving complete clarity and understanding as you plan your international and profitable retreat. What are those action steps you need to take? I am here to guide you along the way. If we haven't met yet, my name is Manu and I am your Yoga Biz mentor. I am truly passionate about retreats. Since 2008, they have been integral part of my life and I am excited to guide you through this journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone who is attending the webinar. If you are live, please take a moment to drop in the comments your name and where you are joining us from today. I also want to remind those of you watching the webinar live that I have something really special for you today, which I will share at the end of the webinar. This special gift will help you to take some of the most important steps I'll be discussing today. It is completely free just for being here with me today. This is my way of showing my appreciation to your commitment. There is also going to be a Q&A session at the end where I will respond to your questions about this webinar. If you have some pressing questions during the webinar related to the topic we are talking about, please feel free to drop them in the comment in the chat box. Just be mindful that I will do my best to respond those questions that are relevant in real time during the webinar. However, if your questions are more general, then I would encourage you to ask at the end during the Q&A session. And we have Mariana from Mozambique, Ana Alonso from Cardiff. Oh my God, this is I'm so happy to read these comments. Thank you so much for showing up today. And here's the big question. Why are you here? Perhaps you have been dreaming about leading an international retreat, but you feel like you are not quite ready yet, or that this is not possible for you at the moment. Maybe you know deep inside that this is something you want to do, but you need a little push or some encouragement, which you haven't found yet. You might not be able to embrace the idea that this is possible for you right now. Maybe you feel paralyzed or overwhelmed when you consider the amount of work required to plan a retreat, choosing the perfect venue, managing bookings, handling marketing and sales, dealing with legal forms and other requirements can seem so overwhelming. Or perhaps you already ran your first retreat, but encounter roadblocks such as lack of attendees or little to no profits after your retreat. You might have even had to cancel and postpone your retreats before. If any of these sounds like you, my friend, then I want you to know that you are in the right place. Today, we are going to dive into all of this, and you might be wondering, why am I the right person to teach you how to lead an international retreat? Here's a little bit about my own story. My retreat journey began in 2008, and there is one person right now watching the live webinar who I met during this time. And my first retreat job was in southern Italy. Yes, that's Turga. My retreat journey began in 2008 with my first year in southern Italy. And since then, I've always dreamed about running my own international retreats. And I found myself absolutely loving the retreat environment. Over the years, I've worked in some of the best retreat venues and hotels in the world, in Italy, Spain, and Thailand. One of my most recent and significant work positions in the industry was in 2022, when I became the retreats director at Six Senses Ibiza. This is one of the world's top 50 hotels. In there, I oversaw operations, coordinated retreats, and ensured profitability while collaborating with renowned retreat leaders to create transformative experiences. I've also run my own international retreats. The first was in 2016 in Thailand, and it's sold out, and it was a blast. By then, I had been working in the retreat industry for 8 years and felt like the confirmation that retreats were something that I definitely wanted to have in my professional path. When it comes to retreats, I can confidently say that I have seen it all. I am deeply passionate about sharing my insights and supporting others in the retreat world. However, let me tell you that when it comes to being an independent retreat leader, it hasn't always been an easy journey. Saying that this journey has been easy for me would be oversimplified and would be a disservice to you because it is simply not the truth. Sometimes this journey has been really, really difficult. And yes, maybe just like you, some of my own retreats did not sell well and had to be canceled. I am a former yoga teacher and personal trainer, and my journey led me to become an international yoga and movement facilitator. When my younger self embraced entrepreneurship, I navigated significant challenges. But like despite my rich professional experience and extensive yoga and fitness education, huge gaps emerged for me as a business owner. Marketing, branding, navigating the online business landscape, creating and pricing my retreats were significant challenges back then. Creating compelling content that would help me market and sell my retreats were aspects that I had yet to master. Despite all my yoga and movement education, and trust me, I invested a lot of time and money on that, and all of the resources, all the resources that I invested, I did not know how to operate as a business owner. I did not know how to move the needle forward in my business. Who was my ideal client and where were they hiding? What were the things I needed to focus on a day-to-day basis? I would spend months and lots of money creating a website and a logo that honestly brought me €0 as a return of investment. I tried everything, and seeing with perspective right now, I know that I had a lot to say, a lot of energy and love and passion to put into my business, but I was not clear on my how, on my who, and on my what. And it all felt messy and unclear for me. And quite honestly, knowing what I know today, I can say with total confidence that all I was doing was, my friend, like throwing spaghetti on the wall. This might sound funny now, but back then it felt like a little dark night of the soul for me. Someone say maybe try check sound setting on your device or try using headphones. Let me know if there is anything that doesn't work. Anyway, if this happened to you, my friend, if you feel like I felt in my dark night of the soul, I want you to know that you are not alone and that this is not your fault. I finally understood and recognized that learning business and marketing from someone that was ahead of me in this journey was exactly what I needed. So basically, I had a choice now. I could either invest in my business, in business mentorship and grow my business, or I could stay where I was. And here's what I found. Recognizing these gaps, I invested in business and coaching and mentoring, and this transformed my perspective forever. By 2019, I ran my own yoga and movement business in Bangkok, teaching private clients and running international retreats in Southeast Asia. I won't say that all the things were 100% perfect back then, but being able to do what I love the most as an independent wellness entrepreneur felt really empowering. I felt so happy, I felt so free and purpose-driven in so many levels. Here are some images from some of my retreats around that time. And here are some of the reviews from the retreat participants. Let me sip a little bit of water. This is Rupali. So these are some of the retreat participants who came to my retreats around 2019, 2020. Then what happened is that in 2020, COVID restrictions led me to close my retreat business. Of course, I couldn't operate anymore. And this prompted me to shift entirely online right away. And by now, the good things is that I was much more clear around the online work, because by now I have worked with some mentors, business mentors, marketing mentors, and I was so clear on my message and on my niche. And inspired by the struggles I have faced in the past, I began helping other yoga and wellness teachers bring their business online. I took a new professional path, empowering yoga and wellness people with marketing, business, mentoring, just drawing from my own journey's lesson and the things that I've learned and I implemented in my business. And this has been my focus ever since, together with an almost 2-year period in 2022 when I served as a retreat director at Six Senses Ibiza, as I mentioned before. Along the way, I've encountered great challenges, learned valuable lessons, and experienced incredible growth. And 2024, here I am. I'm back being an independent entrepreneur, helping yoga and holistic practitioners with business and retreat growth, and planning my own retreat bootcamp for 2025 at Samahita Retreat in Koh Samui, Thailand. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world and one I feel very connected to. And hey, if you are looking for a retreat venue, I can only vouch for Samahita Retreat. By the way, talking about planning retreats, by the end of this webinar, and for those of you who need extra support, I will share with you a way for you and I to continue working together on your retreat project. But that will be at the end. For now, let's focus on what you are here for, because this is not about me, but this is about you. So what's in here for you? Today, in this webinar, I'll provide you the clarity and actionable steps you need to successfully lead an international profitable retreat. By the end of the webinar, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of the key elements and the confidence to move forward. Here is what you are going to learn today. These are the 5 key aspects to successfully lead an international retreat. This is so important for you as a retreat leader or an aspiring retreat leader. Quite often, many of the points we will see today get overlooked by retreat leaders. And I know this is what makes them quit, thinking that retreats did not sell well and that there is so much competition out there and that retreats are not worth it. I want you to succeed in your retreat leader journey because retreats have been some of the most transformative and profitable experience for me as a wellness entrepreneur. First, we'll discuss location and venues. You learn what to consider when choosing a particular location and venue and how to connect with them. Second, we'll cover pricing your retreat. A major challenge for many retreat leaders. I'll guide you through the details of pricing correctly, not only to avoid losing money, but to actually make profit. Third, we will talk about authentic marketing. I know this can be tricky, especially for heart center, wellness professionals, and yoga teachers like you and I. This is one of my passions. I can say that very confident. I'll show you how to do marketing without feeling sleazy or manipulative, and I will share with you my best marketing tips for marketing your retreat. Fourth, we'll discuss sales and some of the best proven and effective practices to sell out your retreat. Finally, we'll dive into the importance of having a target dream client and why this is so crucial. I'll also provide one of my best resources for this topic as a gift at the end of the webinar. All of this, my friend, all of this information, it's going to be coupled with actionable steps to take in each section. And all of this will help you successfully start planning your international retreat. Now, I want you to know that I'm a huge believer in taking action. And I know for myself that taking massive, imperfect action is what leads to having results. Who is excited about this? Please raise your hand. Let me know in the chat before we dive. Yes, very good, very good. I see you. Before we dive into the content, there is one key element I'd like to mention that is going to make a huge difference. And this is your mindset and ability to believe that you can do this. In order to lead a retreat from visualization to planning to execution, you need to believe in your ability. Without this, it doesn't matter how much I'll teach you today. And quite honestly, if you are here, but you don't really believe deep inside that you will be able to do this, the first thing to do would be to work in your mindset. So please, wherever you are right now, feel free to stand up or just find a comfortable sitting position where you feel like kind of empowered, and you can lift one arm up and you can place the other hand in your heart. You can do as I'm doing as well. We're doing all of this together. You find a pose that feels empowering to you and say out loud, I can do this. Yes, very good. I'm so happy that you are here. I can do this. Yes, you can. Amazing. So let's dive into the content. Let's talk location and venue, and choosing your location and venue wisely. When choosing the location and the venue for your retreat, it is crucial to do a bit of research first, but also consider your current students' and clients' preferences and the theme of your retreat. Often we get to imagine and assume that our community would like to go to a certain destination, but we should not make assumptions. This is why I would recommend doing a little bit of market research first by asking your current student and clients where they would like to go to a retreat. It sounds quite simple, but it actually could make a huge difference. And why so? Why do they want to go there? Also consider how the venue that you have in mind, supports your retreat theme. Once you have clarity in your dream client, which we'll dive into later, you'll have a clear idea of your retreat's theme. If you do not have clients or students yet, or if you don't have clients that would come to an international retreat with you right now, stay with me because we will dive into this point as well. Here are some of the key points to keep in mind. Think about what place your current client might have in mind for a retreat location. For example, if your dream client are busy entrepreneurs from a rainy country like England, they might appreciate a retreat in a sunny tropical destination during the winter. Or if, on the other hand, if your dream client lives in a hot climate all year round, they might prefer a cooler destination. Durga says, see, yes, I know you live in a rainy country. Remember, the primary consideration is not solely where you want to go, but where your clients would like to go. Once you get a clear idea of the location, then you can search for venues. Now, I'm going to tell you that some venues can be tricky. So do a little bit of research on the venue itself. If you have never run a retreat and don't know exactly what to look for on a venue, I'd like you to check out your manual. You can do that after the webinar. I left a few links for you to an episode of Sempreneur, my podcast, and a blog post that you can read or listen afterwards, and it will help you with this step. What are the things that you need to find on a venue? Once you have those venues selected and you have pinned out those venues, then it's time to connect with them. When connecting with the venue, be sure to ask critical questions and at the same time, be professional as well. You do not have to be someone else you are not, but you want to come through as a professional because you are a business owner. When I was working as a retreat director in Ibiza last year, some of the retreat leaders inquiries didn't make it through because the first contact with us, the venue was too vague or flaky and did not come through as professional. So what would be your next step once you are clear on the location and the venue? Okay, once you have that clarity of the desired location, and remember to ask your community and the venue, and remember you need to do some researching here, then it is time to contact the venue. Again, some venues might be very familiar with the concept of retreats. Some might not. So you want to make sure that your venue knows exactly how to host a retreat. Here is how to proceed. First, you send an introductory professional email to the venue asking for a contract, and this contract should include all the critical information. Here are 3 things you need for sure to find out, or to find out of the contract or to ask to the venue. The deposit required to secure your booking, whether the venue will assist with marketing the retreat, and also cancellation and postponement policies. Once you get that information and the contract from the venue, please ensure you understand all terms and conditions before moving forward. All that information will help you understand what it takes to run a retreat in that particular venue and what's the financial risk for you as a retreat leader. There are amazing dedicated venues out there, but I also have seen and I have heard crazy stories about venues that were messy and unprofessional and led to the experienced retreat leader losing money. So you want to pay attention to all of that. Just a few weeks ago, by revising the lack of terms and conditions from the venue contract one of my clients was going to sign, we were able to make a deposit transferable in case the retreat was canceled or got postponed, which is something that can happen. Now, you have some research to do, but my friend, you've got this, okay? You know that you have your manual for you there whenever you are ready. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the second point that I want to talk about today, which is a very important one. Let's talk about pricing for profit. One important thing here is understanding the 2 options of selling a retreat, and this is the next thing we will cover.